So my wife gets back from Ireland and she has comic books for me and some graphic novel type stuff. And I won a few things on an auction. So I definitely wanted to share that with you and give my opinions on it after I read it. So let's roll an intro and check this stuff out. All right, you wonderful weirdos. Here we go. This is what my wife okayed me from Ireland. So the first thing we're going to start off with Jennifer Wilde here. This was pretty interesting. It's a ghost story slash murder she wrote-ish kind of story slash resurrecting ghost from the old world or old times, I guess is the best way to put it. This is a theme I was seeing in a lot of these comic books. I don't know if that's normal throughout Ireland with Irish-based comic books, but all in all, this one and all these books are through a comicdiner.com. I'll link them down below. I believe they're a publisher or distribution company there. This is interesting because I'm starting to see the theme after I read this. Again, not really my kind of story, but my wife knows that I read comic books and review them for you. And I started noticing these little themes because all these books are very different, but they have like a tendency to kind of bring up this one particular thing, which we'll talk about. So yeah, all in all, interesting. Female detective type with a ghost boyfriend. As weird as that may sound, we got the resurrection of like olden knight type characters. I know Ireland didn't have knights, but I don't know what else to call them. People with swords and horseback. Sounds good enough for me. But all in all, it's an enjoyable story, but not something I would really like just randomly buy around. So I'm super happy I got it as a gift. Moving on, we got the Queen's Gambit. Kind of the same thing here with this old world field. Kings, queens, pirate ships, people fighting with swords, with a particular character that's kind of the intellectual one in the group. And she's, strong, independent, whole 9 yards. Black and white comic. So is the other one as well. So independent, has a very independent feel to it. I love it when it did things like this. Like, that was pretty cool. But all in all, pretty solid read. Something a little bit more geared towards me, right? With the swords and the sword fighting and everything else. So I really enjoyed that. And again, that's from Atomic Diner. And then my wife picked me up these 2 trade backs, which were pretty cool. The first one is something that was right up my alley. Like, it's the League of Volunteers, right? This was super cool. This is what we would call a traditional comic book, right? This is like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Mystery Men, maybe even the Avengers. You have the super soldier, cut dry soldier. You got an archerer. You got a monk from the past who knows woo-woo magic, right? And then they kind of resurrect the old guard, if you will, the guys with swords and horses to fight a war. And then they threw a little, I'm assuming it's folklore. I make an assumption right now. This kind of resurrected demon from the past, and it doesn't really like the bad guys from World War II. This all takes place in the 40s, and it definitely felt like it too. Like, you kind of saw, like, I don't know much about Ireland. I'm kind of ignorant in that case, but what I get from popular media, the dialect and the words being used in here, I had to look a few things up. I'll be like, just between you and me, don't tell anybody else. I had to look a few things up. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And then went on YouTube to actually hear somebody put it in a sentence just so I wouldn't embarrass myself. And then I decided I'm just not going to say it. That's their language. Let them speak it. But again, traditional comic book feel to it. You get stuff like this, right? That's our bad guy there. And then what's interesting about this particular one, my wife went to the comic book shop and the guy was nice enough to sign it because he was the inspiration for one of the particular characters that's in the league here. And it's very nice penmanship, by the way. And I'm stalling while I try to find the character's name. Let's grab our glasses real quick. So this was super cool. Oh, they also have an Iron Man type character too, just so you know. Because over the ages, obviously, the team has advanced and grown, and different people are in and out, much like the Avengers have done over the years. But it says, to Joey, stay cool, pack rich. And his character that was inspired to be in here is known as Night Ghost. So that was pretty cool that he was able to do that for me. Cheers to you, I think is what I'm supposed to say. Cheers. Cheers, mate. Maybe it just sounds weird coming from me, but I love reading it. I really did. Uh, so yeah, this is fun. It's classic comic book. Rogue eclectic characters being thrown together to have to come together to fight a greater evil. And this kind of takes place in Ireland, and the main goal here is to protect Ireland, of course, right? Because they're Irish. So yeah, I can get behind that. Heck yeah, let's. I would if this was sold in the States, I would buy this. I would buy this and read it weekly. It's right up my alley. Next, Bog Road. Another thing I absolutely enjoy as a reader of comic books and just books in general. I love folklore because folklore always has this great way of teaching you just basic stuff that you kind of don't want to chew somebody out for. Like no stepping out on your wife, or the ghost is going to get you. Don't step out on your husband, or the demon's going to get you. Don't destroy the environment, or the elemental will come up out of the ground and eat you. Things like that. This takes a lot of Irish folklore type characters and kind of crams them into this Bog Road character. One being a bog monster, who's really an elemental that's trapped inside of this hideous monster thing. And the whole goal of this thing is to keep people away from the bog. And the people think that kids are dying, getting in traffic accidents in this particular area is because of this particular monster. Or one guy thinks it, convinces everybody else. Sounds a little bit like misinformation. Anyway, but they're just ignorant to the fact that the kids are just drinking and driving and things like that. And the Bog Monster tries to explain this to the people, and then other wonderful characters kind of get involved too. I can only assume are classic folklore characters in Irish folklore. It's a weird sentence, but we're going with it. Love the art in it. It's pretty stable art. Again, I don't know much about Irish folklore as a whole, but you definitely get the feeling that this is something that is a story in Ireland, or these are characters in Irish folklore type of thing. So that was super cool to be able to read and kind of learn a little bit more about that. It's definitely intrigued me to actually read more things and stories in this type of region of the world. So yeah, I'm super happy about that. And while she was also at this comic book store, they had some American comic books there. Surprisingly, they had some Golden Age stuff, which my wife was surprised by. So she picked me up. This is Headline Comics number 35. This is a police detective FBI type story. Very classic cover. That's super cool. She paid I want to say £10 for it. So whatever, I'll have that conversion rate down here, and you tell me if that's worth it or not. I don't know. She was on vacation and she was spend happy. Right? She's just buying things for people here in the States, and I get American stuff. I love her. Something I'm super happy that she found though. Mysteries in Space number 68. This is the first appearance of the Dust Devils in a Golden Age comic, and you may recognize the cover. Got your little tiger with the horn there, and of course, yeah, super cool. I'm super happy to have that. So yeah, and this was £55. Again, I'll put that number right here once I do the conversion, and you let me know if we got it for a steal or not. I'm thinking we didn't, because well, it's an American comic book in Ireland, right? Should cost more, I assume. I don't know. For the last of the Irish stuff, my wife also, if you start hearing me give out really weird insults to people, she got me the Irish Insult Generator. And we've seen these kind of gag books in America. Basically, you just pick your opening statement, your claim, adjective or something along those lines, and then closer, and you can just kind of, so let's just do it. Let me insult everybody real quick if I can, because Irish words are weird. All right, this one, random stuff. It says that one's a wonky chaser with a face like a slapped bum. All right. Yeah, I'm going to use that one. You may see me on a live, just randomly insulting people. All right, so something that I picked up also recently was some Ghost Rider stuff that I picked up in an auction. Well, there's a little bit more than just Ghost Rider stuff here, but it's mostly Ghost Rider. First off, we got Ghost Rider number 78. I just like the skull cover that was associated with it. That was pretty cool. Right? Oh, this is why I really bid it on this lot right here. So this is Ghost Rider number 50. But I really like it because I like Phantom Rider as well. And I did not have this in my collection, which I'm surprised by, but I have it now. Right? And then, of course, what's Ghost Rider without Danny Ketch? So we got Ghost Rider number 1. Boom. Not too shabby. I would tell you how much I spent on all these, but I honestly don't remember. I may have been having some libations that night. And one random comic book that was just kind of thrown in there. I don't think it's much of anything, but it's Wolverine number 1, but it's not the one you're thinking. It's this one here with the Marvel Now type stuff. So I don't know what I'll do with that. I'm sure we'll find something to do. But all in all, that's my bonus haul for this week. Definitely let me know what you think about it. And do you read any Irish comic books? Are you in Ireland or England or Scotland? And maybe there's some comic books in your country I should be looking at. Definitely, I want to hear from you. Let me know down below. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye.